Hey guys, my name is KJOS and these are my top 5 reasons not to buy the Samsung Galaxy A72. Now, I'm not saying the A72 is a bad phone. It's a pretty good phone if you ask me, but at that $400 price point, there are so many other phones that give you better value for your money, like the Pixel 4a, the OnePlus Nord, the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and even the Samsung Galaxy A52. Now, in my last review where I talked about the A72, I did mention that the A52 gives you better value for your money. Now, if you haven't seen that review yet, I'll link it on info card right up there and in the description below. And guys, if you're new here, this is where I talk about tech and help people make informed decisions. And if you would love to help a creator out like myself, please hit the subscribe button down below as I am almost on 3,000 subscribers. And also don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notified when I drop a video like this every week. Now, without taking too much of your time, let's get this party started. Starting off this list is the price. Now, the most obvious reason not to buy the Samsung Galaxy A72 is the price alone. The new mid-range phone from Samsung cost about $450 to $470, and you're hitting up the territory of high-end mid-range smartphone with that price point. You see, the A70 and the A71 has always been the bigger brother to the A50 and the A51 and other A-series devices. And with the bigger brother, you're expecting bigger and better specs. With the A51 and the A71 had better battery, better camera, a better processor, more RAM, as well as a bigger display. This year, there are only 3 features that the A72 has over the A52, and that is 1, a bigger battery, 2, a bigger display, and 3, a 3x optical zoom on the camera. I honestly don't think that is enough to spend more money on, and when you critically look at it, the differences aren't so far apart. The A72 is a 6.7-inch display, while the A52 is a 6.5-inch display, and that 0.2 inch or inches is not enough to spend $100 more on the A72. Furthermore, the A72 is a 5,000 mAh of battery, while the A52 has a 4,500 mAh of battery. And trust me when I say this, you will get your 1-day or 2-day battery life on either phone. The price of the A72 is about $470, while the price of the A52 is $350. And that $120 difference is pretty huge when you actually realize you can buy your A52 plus a Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus. Number 2 is the processor. The Samsung Galaxy A72 has a Snapdragon 720G, and I must say for its size and reputation, it should have a better processor. The Snapdragon 720G works just as well, but to put it in perspective with its price point, the OnePlus Nord is about the same price and has the Snapdragon 765G, a higher and more reliable chipset than what it is on the A72. The Redmi Note 10 Pro is $200 cheaper and offers better performance than the A72. The Samsung Galaxy A72 has a 90Hz refresh rate similar to that of the A52, and I think Samsung made a mistake with that step. Now, if you ask me, and for what it's worth, the A72 should have had a 120Hz refresh rate. Maybe that was too much for the mid-range phone to handle, so what they should have done are 2 things. 1, bumped down the A52 to about 60Hz and bumped up the A72 to 90Hz. Now that would give people and potential buyers an incentive to buy the more expensive A72 if they wanted to make money from that route. And also between me and you, this 90Hz on the A72 isn't as smooth as Samsung makes it out to be. Number 3, we have the cameras. Now between me and you again, I don't think a 3x zoom is a reason to buy this phone or any phone for that matter. It's literally the same specs as the A52, and if you really want to get a good camera phone, I would suggest the Pixel 4a, which is probably the best camera out there, and that goes for about $350. The camera of the A72 is actually not bad. It's a quad setup with a 64 megapixel wide-angle lens, an 8 megapixel telephoto lens, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 5 megapixel macro lens, and in front we have the 32 megapixel front-facing camera. The main 64 megapixel wide-angle lens does a pretty good job, especially in very good lighting conditions. It does have issues and inconsistencies with its color distribution and looks exposed sometimes. The ultra-wide lens gives a fisheye type look to your shots and has a very weird angle. It's not really a mode I use every day, but it's a nice to have. The telephoto and especially the 3x zoom are kind of like gimmicks to me, and they're usually gimmicks if you use them once or twice and never go back to them. I don't think anybody's waking up to say I want to take a 3x zoom photo today, but then again I may be wrong. Now, overall, the camera on the A72 is not bad, but I would say you should go for the A52 if you want to remain in that A-series lineup. And number 4, and I'm sure some of you already saw this coming, let's talk about OneUI for a second. OneUI is still not my favorite version of Android. It's probably ranked 3rd in my operating system ladder. From the icons being too big, notification tray being a bit too messy, to Samsung having its own separate apps for everything, it is bloatware and eventually becomes so cumbersome that I download Nova Launcher or Pixel Launcher to make using the phone a bit, well, usable. Samsung has definitely come a long way from its TouchWiz days, and they have done an amazing job creating OneUI, but there's so much competition out there that OneUI comes up short. From Oxygen OS to even stock Android, there are just better Android softwares that are out there than OneUI. Speaking of stock Android, a great choice within the mid-range space for the price, the Pixel 4a is a much better choice with stock Android control in it. Apart from the apps, a better gesture navigation system, stock Android guarantees updates for their phones up to 4 years, and they're also the first to get security updates as well as testing out beta features for an incoming operating system. Compare that with other brands like OneUI, they take months or even years to send out new updates for their phones, so most people need to upgrade their phones to get the latest version of the operating system. And at number 5, we have the body of the phone. Now there's a lot in this category, so I'm just going to tack on a few things as we go along. There's no wireless charging or reverse wireless charging on the Samsung Galaxy A72. This is more or less a flagship feature, and I'm not entirely surprised it's not present on the A72 due to its $450 price tag. But on the bright side, it does support 25-watt fast charging on the phone, so that's a decent trade-off, I guess. Also, there are no earphones in the box. I mean, you know, if you have a headphone jack, it just makes a lot of sense that a pair of earphones will come in the box. It just comes with a charging brick and a USB-C cord. Now that's pretty annoying when you consider this phone is $450. I know I keep hinging on the price, but that is a lot of money. Now, if you already have Bluetooth earphones, you're one of the lucky few. If not, you might need to fork out a few extra dollars to get wired ones, or you can just get cheap Bluetooth earphones. And finally, we have the height of the phone. Now, this may be a bit personal, but I believe that most phones should not be more than 6 inches tall. The Samsung Galaxy A72 is a 6.7-inch smartphone, and that makes it a bit hard to reach all 4 corners of the phone. It's also 8.8mm thick, and it weighs about 203 grams. Now, it would really suck if this phone fell on your face. But with all its thickness and height, you can easily just switch on one-handed mode if the phone becomes annoying when you're trying to use it. Well, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my list or do you disagree? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. And guys, if you like this video, click that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, now would be the best time to do so, as I have so much content coming up in the month of May. Thank you guys for watching. My name is KJOS, and I will catch you in the next one where we talk all things tech.